Shifting the topic once again, we got two topics here, and we're gonna wrap things up. This is actually kind of a big one, and I think a lot of people sort of sit on this question quite a bit because it's hard to know. But do you feel like you have a good idea of what the end game Star Citizen is going to be? Not necessarily end game content, but like if you were to jump into the game when they say, okay, no more AUEC, we're going live, and you had a couple days to play, do you feel like you understand what you would be doing?
Nope. Not a clue. I think we have what we want to happen, but there's so many different possibilities for what the game's actually going to play live that it's hard to gauge. But I'm sure we'll all enjoy it, hopefully.
To answer that question, you really need to do up a list of what is in the game right now and what will be in the game when it is like what they want to put in the game. Let me rephrase that, right? That'll give you a better idea of if the game is what you want or what you think it's going to be.
That just reminds me of your answer when Yamix asks you what else do they need to do, and you just had a list.
A list.
Yeah, it really does. It comes down to like, what do they have planned? Because we can't know until we know what they want the game to be in general. But I also wonder if that's a problem, that they might not know or might not be able to communicate it clearly. And I also wonder if that's okay. You know, it's a weird position to be in.
Like, Noobifier is totally right. We don't know until we know exactly what their scope is. Like, for instance, Star Citizen could be farm simulator in the future, right? You fly to a planet, you land there, and you grow your crops.
Heck yeah, Space Cartel.
And you raise your kids, and like that's the whole game. Like, I don't think that's what the game is going to be, but in the idea of endless updates and endless innovations, you know, that could be a thing. Like, my initial answer to that question you asked was like, yeah, I know what the game is because I'm thinking about the now game. You know, I'm thinking about the now game with just expanded things around that now game.
Mm-hmm.
But if we open that Pandora's box, like Noobifier said, and continue on, we have no clue.
It's also kind of like the game is so expansive that everybody's going to have a different kind of answer of what it will be when they get to that point.
So true.
Yeah, Kate.
Noobifier put the list in the chat.
Who's this in the comments? Who's spamming paragraphs in the comments?
That's an incomplete list.
Did you have that? You copy pasted that from somewhere?
Right from the
know he
Yannick's
did.
interview. I have the scripts for everything, right?
Yeah, you know it. Perfect. Beautiful.
Kate, how do you feel about kind of where the game is going to be? Do you have an idea of your gameplay in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we all look. I mean, everyone's going to look at it through their own personal lens, right? Because whatever kind of gameplay that you're interested in is the kind of like what you'll want to see from the game in future. For me, that is command and control like systems mostly, because obviously I run a very combat oriented, active, organized org, and from the commander perspective, doing that in game is tricky, is the best way of putting it, because there's no way of coordinating things save for voice essentially. And if there was some sort of command and control system in game, that would help out a lot with that. But from my perspective, as the leader of a combat-oriented org, you know, what I would want from the game in future, from the game that I would be playing, would be very much focused around that. But like you said, if they've got the base building and farming and resource management side of things done, someone who's more involved in like the industrial side of the game would be interested in a completely different game loop. It's a cliche to say that it would be all things to all players, but I think that's what they're aiming for. I just think it's going to take a very long time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's important to remember as well, yeah, like this is a sandbox. The players can often impact the game more than any feature possibly could. So we don't know what's going to happen when, you know, 20 more features are added and everyone wants to play them in different ways. It's going to be interesting to watch and it's going to be interesting to see. But I think I'm hopeful that we'll all be satisfied at the very least.
Yeah, it's kind of a mystery.